This week on Premier League World, we're off to Germany to see how Swansea's pre-season preparations are going. Can Gary Monk maintain their upward curve? We reflect on the career of an Old Trafford legend and all-time great of the Premier League, Serbian stalwart Nemanja Vidic. And we're in Portugal to catch up with Aston Villa and find out why their players believe the villains could become heroes next season.
As Premier League success stories go, Swansea City are among the best.
Gomis for the shot! Acrobatic brilliance from Bafétimbi Gomis.
Last season was their most successful to date, finishing 8th, their highest position since being promoted in 2011.
Everything we did last season was on merit, so that's the most pleasing bit for me, was that we earned every single point that we got.
36-year-old Monk is a fiercely ambitious workaholic, pushing staff and players to the limit, and his first full season in charge couldn't have gone much better.
I talked with the group at the start of the season about what we wanted to do and how we were going to go about it, what we wanted to try and achieve as a group to take us forward, and we pretty much did that. There's things we need to improve. We're by no means anywhere near where I want us to be in terms of the finished article.
I think he brought an organisation to the group, professionalism and a work ethic every day. He had it himself, and when you see the manager doing that, you have to follow suit really. And he stayed consistent every day and throughout every week.
We joined the squad in Grassau, Germany, ahead of their preparations for the new campaign. Testing them were Bundesliga side Borussia Mönchengladbach and second-tier side 1860 Munich.
Really, it's the next stage for us. We've got 2 games out here in this week, so we had a good 2-week period back in Swansea in the Landor training facility that we were using. We based ourselves there, so we built up the core fitness of the group, and we've got to a very good level. The next stage now is to come out here and start to get that little bit more sharpness into the players, and then obviously with the games, that match fitness, so hopefully we get that from the 2 games.
We're doing a lot of work, and it's really good work. Everyone's bought into what we're trying to do, and it's very intense, the sessions, which it needs to be at this time of the year. So for the work that we've done so far, it's pleasing.
Aside from finishing 8th, Swansea recorded the double over Arsenal and Manchester United. That makes them only the 3rd side in Premier League history to achieve that feat in the same season.
I think me as being a United supporter when I was young, scoring at Old Trafford was of course really special. And I mean, there were a couple of moments winning against Arsenal away, even though we probably defended for about 85 minutes of the game, and we managed to go away from there with 3 points was of course really special as well.
I enjoyed getting promoted and I enjoyed winning the League Cup, but I think last year on the whole was my most enjoyable season. A lot of things came together in the team, and we just started to click, and I think we was consistently good. We didn't drop out the top half, which is a big achievement for ourselves as a club.
I thought we were excellent last season, and we took it forward another step from before, which was great to see and to be part of. But obviously, as a manager, you always want more and never satisfied.
If you look at the season, there were games where we probably could have won and got something out of the game. So I mean, there's a lot of room for improvement, even though we've done really well last season.
In January, top scorer Wilfred Bonney was sold to Manchester City for £25 million. Manager Gary Monks increased his attacking options, adding striker Ada from Braga and Andre Ayew from Marseille, as he tries to fill the void left by Bonney's departure.
I knew that he was the right place for me to come in and begin this challenge in the Premiership.
Identified the right ones I wanted to bring in, and that we could get the deals done. And we got them done early, which is the best bit. So for preparation is perfect. We've got the main players. There's still 1 or 2 maybe bits of business we need to do, but the main bits of the jigsaw have been put in place.
And Monk's side have the toughest of openers. Champions Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
We'll go there, try and put our best game on the pitch, and if we can do that and maybe disrupt their best game. Hopefully we can get the right result, but that's quite a way off right now. We're concentrating really on us until that week, obviously, the build-up of that game, and hopefully we can go there and put our best game on the pitch.
But with the club's academy now playing Category 1 fixtures and plans mooted to expand the Liberty Stadium, Swansea's future looks good.
It's all building, you know, but we're doing it in the right way. We're not trying to get there too quick. We're trying to do it step by step, and all those bits of it, infrastructure-wise and player-wise, I think we're on the right path. So hopefully in the coming years we can get stronger. The team already looks stronger as a squad, which I talked about before. We didn't have a full squad last season, so this season we have a much more fuller squad, which is great. We need that, but the aim is always to improve. But of course it'll be very difficult, but one again that we're looking forward to.
On the final day of the 2014-15 season, Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech made his 333rd Premier League appearance for the newly crowned champions. But after spending the majority of the campaign on the bench, the Czech Republic international decided it was time to move on, joining London rivals Arsenal. Cech will become the 8th player to represent both the Gunners and the Blues in the Premier League. But can you name the other 7? We'll provide the answer a little later in the show.
In January 2006, Nemanja Vidic arrived at Manchester United. In acquiring him from Spartak Moscow for around £7 million, United had beaten rivals Liverpool to his signature.
United sort of stole him really and took him from under their noses. And he was well thought of. He was in the midst of a pretty successful World Cup qualifying campaign with Serbia at the time. But yeah, he was a relatively unknown quantity, and there were teething issues to begin with as he adapted to English football.
The 24-year-old Serbian, who joined alongside Patrice Evra, would go on to develop one of the most successful defensive partnerships in Premier League history with Rio Ferdinand. But his first impressions on his new partner weren't good.
I don't know if he's going to be good enough. That was it. When him and Patrice Evra first come to training, it was like, whoa. Like he's playing against Louis Saha in training. Louis Saha was a great player, hard to play against in training, Van Nistelrooy, etc. And he wasn't getting close to him. And I thought, whoa.
And that wasn't helped by a painful Premier League debut.
Vidic had a couple of tough games, and United lost 4-3 at Blackburn. David Bentley scored a hat-trick, and Vidic had a tough time of it. And I think initially the intensity, the pace, the physicality of the Premier League took both of them back.
He had that determination, that still that he was going to succeed here, and he went into the gym, put on a bit of weight, worked at his game. Within a couple of months, he thought, yeah, we've got a top player here.
I remember a game against Arsenal, April 9th, 2006. United won 2-0 at home. Vidic made an absolutely fantastic challenge, showed great presence, great determination to win the ball, and he really ended up releasing Mikhail Silvestri, who put a cross in for Rooney to score. And for me, it was a bit of a, hang on a minute, this guy actually looks like he's got something.
I could smell where he was going to be on the pitch, and I didn't have to talk to him sometimes. I just knew where he was going to be, and I knew he was going to push in there, so I'd come around the back and cover him. So it just kind of happened. It was a really enjoyable partnership.
I remember interviewing him, and he said that him and Ferdinand spent a lot of time alone working together on positioning, a lot of time talking to each other. I think it helped that they both got on, that they both liked each other.
Relationships like that, it just kind of happened, and that we were put together, and it's like I liked the way he played, he liked the way I played, and we just kind of, it was like a marriage really.
They really, really worked to sort of fine-tune their own games, and I think they very, very quickly saw the fruition and the benefits of that.
He loved English football, it suited him. It was quick, it was fast, it about strength, it was about determination, and they're things that you would associate with Nemanja Vidic.
Great in the air, tenacious in the tackle, terrific reading the game.
His best strengths, without a doubt, are attacking the ball. That first ball that goes up, that comes in, he's the first one, always wants to attack it, whether it's from a cross, whether it's from a direct ball. He wants to attack it, that's what he prides himself on. And I wouldn't want anyone else near me in the box attacking that first ball. If I had to choose one, it would be him.
While his consistency would also be considered a real strength, even Vidic had a few moments of fallibility. Fernando Torres was a thorn in his side, but the occasions were rare.
He always struggled against Fernando Torres when Torres was at his peak at Liverpool, and there was a few bad games, but generally speaking, I think he was one of those Roy Keane sorts that, you know, he'd never drop below 7 out of 10. He'd be regularly be 8 out of 10.
Very rarely did you see him not have a good game. That's the thing, that's the sign of a great player, I think. He's always, as I said, one of the top 3 or 4 players in the team every week.
And I think that was it. I think he was just so consistent, so dependable, always managed to get a foot in.
I think what people sometimes don't give him credit for was his positional sense. His positional sense, he was always in the right area, he was the right side of the attacker when the ball was coming across. He was always wanted to do the right things as a defender should do, and so he doesn't get probably as much credit as he deserves in that sense.
Had a great knack of getting himself in the way. You know, some of the interceptions he made and the tackles he made, you just think, how has he done that?
Manchester United went on to claim 5 Premier League titles during Vidic's time with them, and the Serbian was very much at the heart of that success.
He was an integral member of that team. I think you always, if you're going to have a championship winning side, you need 5 or 6 players that you can count on week in, week out, and normally put in a good 7 or 8 out of 10 every week. And he was one of them.
The best teams, the greatest teams down the decades have always had an outstanding centre-half partnership, and I think you can name them, they roll off the tongue. I think Ferdinand and Vidic belong sort of squarely in that bracket.
Such was Vidic's importance that by December 2012, Manchester United had conceded, on average, almost twice as many goals in all competitions without him as when he was present.
I also think in the latter years he was a big presence around the dressing room. I think he was just a reassuring, calming presence. He was just immensely well respected. You know, he was hugely sort of popular among players. Very likeable guy, very calm, placid off the field.
Really was funny, man. We got on really well. Obviously, our relationships on the pitch, everyone knows about, but off the pitch. But he was quite a funny guy. He was really intense. He was Vidic, he let his hair down a little bit here and there, but he was always quite intense and was quite serious about stuff, but in a nice way.
After 8 years, 10 major trophies, with Ferguson gone and injuries starting to bite, in February 2014, Vidic announced his decision to leave the club at the end of the season. Unusual in its timing, but perhaps the correct one, bringing an end to an incredible and iconic United career.
United had his very, very best years, and it was the right time to go. It wasn't laced with regret, it wasn't tinged with disappointment or rancor or resentment. I think he'll be remembered as one of United's greatest defenders, not just in the last 2 decades, but of all time. I think he'll be come to be regarded as one of the top 5 defenders in Premier League history.
Yeah, he's one of the best, 100%. He was the best I played with, and I played with some good centre-halves. So, for me, he'd be one of the best, definitely.
A team looking to turn the tide. We join Newcastle stateside to find out whether this season the only way will be up for the Magpies.
It's the same old story, the same old failings, the same shortcomings really for Villa.
The 2014-15 Premier League season was another frustrating one for the Aston Villa faithful. The Midlands club have finished in the bottom third of the Premier League for the last 4 seasons. Now entering his first full campaign as manager, Tim Sherwood has big decisions to make, with drastic changes required at the club. Since the end of last season, Aston Villa have lost their captain, Fabian Delph, and their top scorer, Christian Benteke.
Benteke! It's him again!
As well as saying farewell to key players such as Tom Cleverley, Andreas Weimann and Ron Vlaar. With the Premier League opener approaching, the club travel to Portugal for pre-season training. All eyes are going to be on long-serving Gabby Agbonlahor, who may have greater responsibilities now.
Training's been tough since the first day we got in. The boys are feeling tired, but everyone's still getting through it, you know, and it's making us fitter and fitter every day. I think we need to keep players fit. We've had 2 new fitness guys come in that are going to help the squad, and I think we can keep everyone fit and then less niggly injuries, we've got a chance.
A pre-season tour is the perfect time for a fresh start, not least because both the physical and mental sides of the game can be worked upon.
I think we've just got to listen to the manager. He wants the winning mentality. We've got to get that into our heads. Starting from now, we need to go into every game looking to win, not even if it's the top teams or the bottom teams. We've got to try and win every game, and I think that'll help us this season. It's a tough league, people don't realise how physical it is all around the pitch. You need to be as strong as you can, and it's going to help a lot of the players.
In this summer's transfer window, Villa have shown signs of strengthening their squad with the arrival of defensive midfielder Idrissa Gueye and left-back Jordan Amavi from France's Ligue 1. Micah Richards also returns to the Premier League, a player Agbonlahor knows all too well.
I played with him in 21s, and he brings everything you need in a centre-half. I think he's good enough to play in any side in the Premiership, and I think he'd start in most Premiership teams. I think people don't realise how much of a big club Aston Villa is. Look at the fan base, the stadium, the training ground, the history. It's a massive club, and I think if you ask him, he's enjoying playing for the club, and he feels at home.
With over 350 appearances in Claret and Blue, Agbonlahor believes his side is primed for upward mobility, a pleasant contrast to recent stagnation.
I think there's no reason why we can't achieve, top 10. We want to be pushing up that league and not looking below us. We want to be pushing up and try and stay in that top 10 and looking upwards, not downwards.
Earlier we asked you if you could name the 7 players other than Petr Cech who've played for both Arsenal and Chelsea in the Premier League. Emmanuel Petit was the first to play for both clubs. The French World Cup winner won the double with the Gunners, but after a disappointing 12-month spell at Barcelona, moved to West London to join the Blues, where he spent 3 seasons. Ashley Cole transferred to Chelsea in 2006 in what was a controversial move at the time. After winning 2 Premier League titles and 3 FA Cups with the Gunners, Cole went on to take another 8 major honours in a successful career with the Blues. Included in the deal to take Cole to Chelsea was defender William Gallas. The France international spent 4 years with the Gunners and later went on to represent another London club, Tottenham, before finishing his career in Australia. Nicolas Anelka burst onto the scene at Arsenal as a teenager, helping them secure the double in 1998. He then moved to Real Madrid the following year. Several clubs later, he transferred to Chelsea in 2008, where he won 2 FA Cups and the Premier League title in 2010. Yossi Benayoun and Lassana Diarra played cameo roles at Arsenal, but made more of an impression at Chelsea. Most recently, though, Cesc Fabregas followed the same route as Emmanuel Petit all those years ago, moving to Barcelona from Arsenal and then to Chelsea, helping them win the Premier League title in his first season at the club.
And the agony goes on for John Carver and Newcastle.
But where do Newcastle United go from here? A city suffering with their football club.
By the skin of the teeth, remain in the Premier League. Got a lot of work to do.
Gutierrez with a shot! Jonas Gutierrez, he's come back and scored a goal that will keep Newcastle in the Premier League.
I just said to him, that West Ham game, the last game of the season, we're focused on that. And I said, look, that is a Newcastle team. And crowd, and stadium, and atmosphere. And that's, we can do this, we can do that. And try and energise them.
After one of the worst runs of form in the club's history, ultimately Newcastle get the job done. Their Premier League status has been maintained for another year.
It's been a busy few weeks for incoming Newcastle head coach Steve McClaren. Intent on turning a team in turmoil into one battling it out in the upper echelons of the Premier League, he's already started to shuffle the pack. With 6 players shown the exit door, all signs point to a club looking for a new direction. We headed to Milwaukee in the United States to catch up with the new man and get his take on the season ahead.
Yeah, it was great, Newcastle jerseys. And it's funny talking to him, going up in Newcastle shirts and American accents. It was a bit weird. And already many people have come on and said, Newcastle fans living in the USA and delighted to be able to see the players and watch them play.
Back on Tyneside, there's been little to smile about. A dismal 3 league wins out of 19 under John Carver had the Magpies teetering on the brink in May, with fans calling for owner Mike Ashley to fall on his sword. Carver was sacked, but Ashley remains at the club, and having started splashing the cash, he'll now expect McClaren to hit the ground running, despite a tough-looking start to the campaign.
I think the first 8 games we played the top 6 from last season, so not going to be easy. But after them games, I think we'll certainly know what we've got and what we need to do. It's a long season. We'd like a good start, and all I'm looking for and concentrating on is getting performance from the team. Performance will get results, but I think the key thing is a performance in which the fans go, yeah, I'll come and watch that. Okay, win, lose, draw, yeah, I'll come and watch that. Get that attitude back, and work ethic back, and team ethic back. And that's what the fans want to see. I was at Middlesbrough. It took 128 years to win a trophy, so people have to be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. I think just the ambition that was stated, that was the key thing. If that happened, tremendous. I think everybody will know what would happen if that was achieved. It was tremendous at Middlesbrough doing it, but somehow that it would be unbelievable if we do that. But that's a dream at the moment, but we live on dreams and we aim towards them.
The club recently loosened the purse strings, spending a reported £27 million on 2 high-profile recruits, all in the hope of taking the Magpies to that next level. Alexander Mitrovic arrived from Anderlecht and Jorginho Wijnaldum from PSV.
The fans are great. Every game they are trying to help the team to win games, even when it's not go good. Last year they know they have a bad season, but still every week there are 52,000 people, fans, here to support the team. And I look forward to that, but also winning games.
Yeah, I know him very well from the time in Holland. He was at Feyenoord, PSV, the top player. International player now. Was a number 10. He's kind of a box-to-box midfield player now. Can do everything in midfield, can fill all positions.
I want to show them why Newcastle plays so much for me. I want to give them
actions, goals, defense work, but also I want to show them that I'm happy to be here and that I'm proud to play for Newcastle.
I think he's got the strength, the power, and the tempo to make an impact in the Premier League. It would be a good player for us. The funds are there, the resources there. Let's just make sure in the next window, 3 windows, that we build a team squad that can compete for a top 8 place and always be strong and challenge in the cup.